Mike Brown, this owner who's on the team since 91, known for never making any trades in the draft, never making any splash pickups in free agency, and I just noticed that this guy, he will sign wide receivers. He'll extend a wide receiver. And I got to thinking, I wonder why is that? When he drafted Jamar Chase when they had T. Higgins, and I thought that they should have taken Penei Sewell. You see what I'm saying? But then I started thinking about it. This is notoriously the cheapest owner. This guy tries to rip copper out of a penny cheap, And the reason why he wants to sign these receivers, Chad Johnson, TJ Houshmandzadeh, going back about 15 years there, is because he wants to get a portion of the jersey sales, because wide receivers are very popular with the fans, especially with this explosion of fantasy football. That's why he's wanting to sign the wide receivers. Has nothing to do with winning, And I went back and had to do some research here. But I looked at guys like Corey Dillon, who left in 2003. Dillon was originally drafted in 97, one of the best running backs in the NFL at the time. He says, I'm not going to play for this team no more. They're not serious about winning, particularly the owner. He's not going to do any of this stuff. Again, no trades, no nothing in the draft, no big free agent spending. I mean, this guy is the cheapest of the cheap, and he's not going to waste his good years there. 6 years in the league, the guy's 27, 28 years. He's still got plenty of good years left. And he never did. Later on, he went to the Patriots and won the Super Bowl. But it got really nasty between the time he said he wanted to leave there and the time he actually got moved. And then you think about a few years later, same thing for Carson Palmer. Breaks his collarbone, I want to say in 2009, 2010. And Palmer says, this guy's stubborn. He's not making the proper protocols to procedures to win games here. I'm not going to play here. I will retire. I will not play another down with this team, with this organization. And eventually, Mr. Brown, after letting these players about halfway deteriorate, then he finally moved off of them. He made a big trade with the Raiders and moved off to them, traded him to the worst possible team he can think of and get the best deal for him. And then, of course, Palmer eventually worked his way off the Raiders and got moved to Arizona, where he had a decent coach there, and later went to the NFC Championship game in 2015. Okay. So, looking back on a guy like Palmer, he had a pretty good career as far as longevity, but they both had the same thing. They're just not going to play for this guy. He's not serious about winning. He's notoriously cheap. They just now got a indoor practice facility since Joe Burrow's been there. Okay. I thought that maybe he had he's post 80, some kind of revelation when they drafted Joe Burrow in 2020, when they re-signed Tyler Boyd and went out there and got Jamar Chase like that. In the draft, they did put Trey Henderson, but then after he's played there a while, now he's starting to revert back to who he is and Mike Brown, and that is the guy's going to be. He's a hardball guy. Jamar Chase wants a new contract. T. Higgins wants a new contract. Trey Henderson wants a new contract. Instead of moving off of T. Higgins and getting help on other parts of the line, he's a stubborn, hardline guy. He's going to do it his way or the highway and try to get these guys re-signed. Instead of doing what's right for the team and listening to scouts and analysts and football people, the word that Jimmy Johnson would use, He's going to do it his way. And unfortunately, I don't think Joe Burrow's ever going to win anything. I just